Hello, my name is Dr. Glenn Pierce, and you are here with Science Me. I am not Dr. Glenn Pierce, I am Simon Tracer. Hello, welcome to another Science Me at night, where I am a little bit like I'm supposed to be asleep. But anyhow, how do I make it so my screen is bright? Oh, that'd be so useful if my tablet was actually so bright. That's freaking awesome. Woo! It's a little too bright. Maybe around there. Okay, so hello. My name is Dr. Okay, never mind. Half-life. The amount of time it takes for a particle to decay kind of rests on the fact that if you have, for example, um, 60 particles, right? Any one of them could decay in the first half-life. And if that's a year, then they'll decay in the first half-life. But what if they don't? Well, then there's 30 of them remaining. And then what if... It's a little too bright. What if they don't decay after that? Well, then they might decay in the third half-life, in which there are only 15 remaining particles. So one particle lasted 3 times as long as the other ones. You have to think that there's some kind of mechanism that makes the half-life take place, that makes the decay take place. And you gotta wonder, is there a natural phenomenon that we can do, something that we can induce in order to make half-life be like 1 minute, like artificially turned on or done, a process that's like random, right? But the thing is, it's not like, obviously, it can't be just a direct half-life. It has to be some stupid probability. And I can't help but wonder if there's a way to manipulate radioactive material such that it becomes no longer radioactive. I can't help but think there must be a way to instantly just, and it's all diffused into useless material. We know that melting it doesn't do anything because they've been able to turn it into diamonds, assuming that they were able to do that at all. They were able to have the radioactivity diamond then be sealed inside of a regular diamond. And then use that as a battery. But that's not what we're here to talk about. Although that's amazing and cool, a little bit. The question is, what is this natural process that's taking place? And why can't we do something about this material? Right? Like, why can't we just take the entire thing of Chernobyl and make it cleared? What would it take? Radioactivity is it's interesting. What if, say, encasing the radioactivity, oh, it doesn't matter. Let let's not think that way. Let's I don't want to think about it like what if they're just handling it completely wrong because they should know. But like I mean you don't want to set it on fire, right? Or superheat it. And still that doesn't do anything for it. It's still radioactive. So I end up thinking about this so much, and I'm like, what about shining it with lasers or something? Like, I can't help but think there has to be some way. And the problem is that whatever you're going to do to try to make the radioactivity in a particle just eke out is you're going to be releasing whatever it is, and that thing's going to do pretty much going to do some damage to stuff around it. So, one idea, obvious, kind of obvious, is flood it and then bombard it with high particles. Might blow up. Not the best idea. Likely to fail. Um, I mean, um, you could like diffuse it and turn it. You could like mulch it up and turn it into gravel and stuff. Like you can turn it into glass and whatever, and it'll be radioactive, but it's like it's not going anywhere. Like there's two ideas. There's the idea of get rid of the radioactivity immediately somehow. It's like don't think magnets would do the job. Don't think speeding it up like in a nuclear centrifuge or something would be particularly helpful. I don't know. The absolute ridiculous idea of exploding it. Terrible idea. Don't want that. Um, but like, what if there was a chemical reaction you could do? Like, could you dissolve it in acids? Well, that wouldn't do too much. It would just turn into a soup. It would probably leak into whatever is underneath it, and you have problems there. So that's not good. And again, we've reforged it into diamonds. I don't think acids are going to be any different than whatever process they use to turn it into diamonds. Um, Still cool, by the way. That's a good idea. Because like at least the diamonds, like you can make the nuclear batteries, um, and then just have them in micro shielding, so that like it's enough that the radioactivity doesn't escape, right? But I find it interesting that with Half-Life, it takes a certain amount of time and then half of it is no longer radioactive. with like carbon and stuff, then you gotta wonder, like, would nuclear fusion or nuclear fission be definitely fission would be the probably one of the better options. Again, it's dangerous because you have the big chance of it exploding or whatever. Unless you do manage, like fusion stuff, if you just, I don't know. It's dumb to have all these thoughts without actually looking up all the stuff that there is out there. Like dousing it in water, you're just gonna make it so that it does flow into other places and whatever. But it's just the fact that the same particle could last one half-life or multiple half-lives. Um, just making me think that there has to be some kind of natural process that makes that happen. So is it like neutrinos or could cosmic rays? Like I'm not saying just shove stuff out into space to get rid of it, but what if you shove stuff out into space so that it gets hit by cosmic rays and then that cures it? And if that doesn't work, it would probably make it more radioactive, I guess. One thing I think for some reason, I don't know. I got nothing. Um, just some random crap about how like if one if one particle could decay in the first half-life or the 10th half-life or the 100th half-life, that's some kind of weird stuff. Still end up thinking there's got to be some kind of way to like um normalize the matter. What if superheating them is the way? So burning it would help. But it's like then that releases the whatever. And that releases all that energy and it just flows from one thing, gets caught into another thing. I mean, if it gets caught in water, right, then you have all this radioactive water and you got to process that anyway and stuff. But what if there's a way to then constantly flow and then treat and then flow and then treat the water and whatever? It's just a bunch of stupid ramblings about ideas for making radioactive stuff less radioactive. It's not educational, it's not interesting, it's just some guy thinking about things. Possibly saying something that someone might resonate with if they have like any um, expertise in the thing, but they also haven't thought of this idea, then maybe they can do something. But at the same time, how can I think of anything that people haven't already thought of in the last 60 years or whatever, or 100 years, or who cares? 60 years sounds right. It's more like 80? Is it 80 years now? I think it's 80. But like, radioactivity, the interesting thing is natural uranium and stuff, just in like a lake bed or whatever else, and that spreads out places and it's not good. And it's not some testing, because radioactive material can be just found in the ground. It's like crazy. Um, it's like, what if someone goes mining, uses TNT, blows up some uranium deposit because they didn't realize there was uranium there, and then boom. It probably may have happened at some point. Like, whoa, you know. Or something like sulfur or whatever else. It's like, you think, is it possible that has ever happened before? Or whatever, you know? Anyway, reactions. I can't sleep. Not because of radioactivity and stuff. That's just the thing that my mind ends up going to as I find myself unable to just pass out. But also, it's been on my mind before about half-lives. It just it just feels like if there's a regular, whatever the regular um, mechanics are, then we should be able to force it to happen. Other thing that's interesting, I saw a guy, what is it? Real civil engineer, I forget. Nuclear engineer. I don't remember. What is this guy's name? I just saw him. T False Nuclear. And he's cool. He does videos where he talks about um, stuff. He works at a nuclear, or he worked at a nuclear place for 10 years, has experience, and knows about all sorts of stuff nuclear. It's like, when he looked at Helion, he mentioned about how the expectations of the regular stuff, and the fact that they haven't actually gained power from it yet, is like, I don't know about you, but I don't think about it as extremely difficult to add the functions necessary to gain power off the system. But theoretically, or in principle, just the general idea of use, and he mentioned that just the idea of using the repulsion of, like, when the magnetic flux is pushing, it works like a piston kind of, so that as it's pulsing, the pushback makes magnetic power. And I'm like, you're not, apparently they claim to make fusion at a lower temperature than fusion is recorded in having, is what the guy says. And that sparks my brain because I'm like, wait, are they actually doing fusion or are they just making something that is like reactive or something? And like all of this stuff about powering the stuff, holding it together, and all of this. And I just can't be helped but wonder and be upset about the fact that I never hear about nuclear fusion reactors using sound to control the neutrons. I harp about it because sound is the only thing you can use because it is a pulse wave, um, it is something that's like present and can move stuff in midair and whatever else. I'm pretty sure that even though there isn't much of an atmosphere, like you should be able to have some kind of sound, um, be able to make the standing waves that we see hold water droplets be used instead in a higher frequency to manipulate stuff in a reactor so that you can have the neutrons be held in place so that they wouldn't, one, escape and damage the core, and two, just be wasted by being thrown out of the core. If you allow them to be reintegrated into other atoms by forcing them to not be able to leave and just making sure that they can fuse back into the other matter, right? Make some helium-free stuff, make some whatever stuff out of it, and those reactions would be more um, viable and profitable because you could immediately turn, like you would have an amazing reaction rate and effectiveness of your reactor if you use sound. Um, but like the thing is, that's a whole extra amount of power that you have to devote to the system to make it more reactive and reliable. But here's the thing, who cares? Because you also, like I said, you don't just gain from having more material that is able to come out of it that is useful, and you don't lose the neutrons, but like your chamber doesn't break, and the whole idea of holding all of this at like the insane temperature that they talk about somehow, and not to mention apparently X-rays is, who cares about neutrons? You got X-rays out there, and they have all sorts of things about X-rays and other ray ray bursts. That's like, hold on, you can't just make this thing run if you're actually doing fusion and whatever else at scale, the largest amount. You're literally making the sun. And the thing is, you're not just making the sun, but you're like forcing two balls to fuse together to jolt towards each other at ramming speeds. Like it's super fast and it's contained, and then it lasts for a certain amount of time, and then they take the gas out, and it all happens in fractions of a second apparently. So you have this hypercritical event, it hardly lasts long. And my question is, first of all, why don't you have stationary gas, superheated, inside of a chamber that's super cold, like a tokamak, only without using inertial confinement, because inertial is bad, forcing anything to start moving quickly is bad. You just want to have it be squeezed tight and held in place. Well, to do that, and you could literally just be feeding this thing so much hydrogen, you could make a baby sun. No problem. I mean, what they're doing already is making a baby sun. The thing is that it's so, low temperature compared to our sun. But the other thing is, what if you do that, also you make a core that it's able to orbit, and the gravity of that able to make it so that you have more control over things. And I don't think that your shielding is, now I'm off topic again, but I mean, as nuclear goes, I mean, why wouldn't you talk about everything nuclear? Or whatever the hell is on my mind at the moment. Sports bra. Um, the idea of not taking the heat, it's like we heat up and we cool things down and all of this, and then Astrium or whoever talking about how they take the heat, or they take the neutrons, they have it hit a blanket, and they use that extra heat to gain whatever else. And it's like, they're not even going to do the basic thing, which is use the heat to make steam. They make all this heat and they only use the electromagnetic stuff. And apparently, the electromagnetic stuff gets them 50% of what they put in. I'm baffled. How? Besides the fact that their current machine, like theoretically, okay, if they are able to do that, right? Why would it? If that's the 50%, then why wouldn't they, you know, find ways of utilizing the neutrons, which is another efficiency or percentage of energy captured, or use photo solar panels inside of the chamber so that all of the stuff that's flung towards it in the form of energy is converted into electricity that way. Like, you could have photovoltaics inside of the Helion reactor, which directly converts all of that light that they're going to have into energy. And then other ways of having the higher beams of energy be able to be used to make more energy, with different reactive layers. You know, because one type would react better with the one frequency of light. Another type would react better with another frequency of light. But seriously though, use sound. You need to start using sound in reactors, because I'm tired of you not doing it. But no one's heard my videos who works in the field, so they don't know to use sound. And that's disappointing. But like, I only have so much of an influence with people. So few people watch. If the one person who's watching is also someone who works there, that's freaking luck. So it's like, man, if I could make the best presentation for you guys, so that you would actually get a hold of it and understand it, and then people would implement it. And even if it gives you only a small percentage boost, or makes it so that your reactor doesn't break down as much, or any benefit whatsoever, my job's done. I don't need to, you know, be thinking that you guys aren't doing your best anymore. I can think about how you guys are, like, actually using all of this research. It was interesting that he said that apparently using deuterium is not even that crazy of an idea. It's not that new of an idea. And the only thing new about any of this is using the magnetism to make power. And as much as it's true that you can make these um, magnetism thing to make power, I mean, why can't you just spice it up a little bit with one thing or another, and then you have a greater amount of magnetic flux adjustments, whatever it is, so that you have more power out of it. But it's like you could use the heat, you could use the light, you could use the radiation, you could use possibly the kinetics of the neutrons to do a thing. But it's like you're working with only one of these ideas, and even with freaking beryllium blankets, it's like that is the most, like the entire reactor is used once. But he mentioned something about refining the beryllium, so that's one thing. Part of me is still thinking that utilizing a quark generator or a quark reaction unit, where if you use a frequency and point that at a pair of quarks, they'll separate enough that, like, if you ionize, basically almost ionizing radiation them with a crazy beam of multiple frequencies, you would be able to have, like, you'd be able to separate the quarks from each other, and they should, according to, I think Physics Girl mentioned it, although I've been semi-skeptical about some things she says, I don't know why. Well, for a number of reasons, but like I still am freaking missing the heck out of her and want her to get back into science because it's cool. She does such a great job. Like she can rest until she's back in. I don't understand long COVID. Long COVID's weird because like they said they have her on a keto, basically what's like a keto diet. I can't help but think like if you're wanting a person to get stronger, right? And if the majority of that is your immune system being able to do stuff, then wouldn't you need to make sure that you're putting as much into your body so your body can regenerate its cells fast? And it doesn't matter how much, it matters that it's happening fast. Because Like the more body cells you have to react with, the more the um, the virus might be able to feed off of, but at the same time, the more you're able to make the immune cells, um, make the blood cells, make all the chemicals and whatever else that it takes to keep things working and stuff. I don't know. Um, my stupid idea of giving Diana alcohol so that she can have it burned out of her. Um, it's not a brilliant idea. It's a stupid idea. Um, but like, what the hell is COVID doing in there for months, 10 months, right? That's like crazy. Um, like it doesn't sound like regular COVID. It sounds like AIDS COVID or something. And it's like like it does make sense that you want to if it feeds off of the stuff that you're eating so that you don't want to give it anything, right? There's that approach. Then yeah, you would eat the least of the the absolute amount that it would take to survive and make sure that it doesn't get anything that it can use. But if it's using your own cells against you, I don't know, just a stupid approach, but I would say just eat tons of stuff that makes your body make a lot of cells and flow through you faster. Like up your metabolism a ton and um, get it into you and then make sure you obviously get it out of you as fast as you can. I don't know. Of course, eating healthy and whatever. Not at all a doctor, not at all a proper ideas of medical stuff when it comes to this, but it's like, I don't know. Like, for me, the idea of like an IV drip or something is a temporary measure. Like, it can't be. I don't think of anyone being able to think of that as the permanent measure or the constant thing that you do. Um, I would more likely think that it's more appropriate for them to um, eat whatever it is that gives their body the energy that it needs. Um, you would think that there's some kind of proteins and things that if the virus works with these certain parts, um, what if you make the body start reacting to those parts by overloading it? Like, if you didn't have a peanut allergy, like induce a peanut allergy type of stupid idea. Um, so that it would then, but instead of feeding you any of that stuff, it would like, but that'd be lower. It's very stupid. Um, because anaphylaxis is no joke. Um, it's like the idea of causing your body to have the reaction is entirely what vaccines are all about. It's not entirely stupid, it's just the peanut idea is stupid. Um, but like if it works one way, but like yeah, rebuild the body cells so that you have what it takes to exist, be strong, and then also like whatever the heck builds up um, you know, blood production, whatever builds up your immune cell production, um, I don't know. I mean, it's not like you can make your body cells seem unuseful to the virus. Like that's not like a thing you can do, right? Because like it's like whatever they have is like a virus. The virus goes in, it has certain chemicals on the edges of it that your natural cells will want to allow into themselves, and instead of just allowing that part, they allow the whole virus in. Or it's like a passcode, and there's no easy way to just like tell everyone to change their passcode, right? Like that's not something you can do. Um, like certain saying resistant or certain saying um, highly reactive or something, or a certain thing eject at all cost. Like you're gonna vomit a lot, or you're gonna diarrhea a lot, or you're gonna um, you know, I don't know. We went from Half-Life to real life. Too fast. I don't know. Reactions. Um, Whatever the frick is on my mind right now. I'm not gonna say sports bra again, but there it is. Um, 'Cause the idea of thinking about what would allow a virus to be then able to make use of your body is like a crazy idea of just flooding your body with fighter cells and then also making sure that you have enough energy to stay like awake or something. Or the other idea, instead of staying awake, get like tons of sleep so your body naturally is just regenerating like a lot. Um, Obviously, we want the vitamins and nutrients and stuff. Like, I don't know. I wish I could help work on it so that it would be like I would know the stuff that it needs to be looked at and be like able to apply my analytical brain um, so that I could help fix these things. I would love to get into biomedical um, stuff, be able to figure out ways of doing stuff because all it takes is like a sample of the virus, right? And you can have like different chemicals or different like the other thing that you might want to think of is not what the virus does to you, but what triggers the virus to let go of its DNA and start activating its own processes. Ooh. You see, normally, when the virus goes off and does its stuff, if it lets out its DNA inside of the cell, then it has the factory do its thing for it and whatever else. But what if it just is told to open up out in the open? And then you can just destroy it from, like, it's not inside any cells, it's just randomly somewhere, and then it all just opens up and barfs out everything that it has, and then it didn't get a cell to start regenerating everything. It's just out there in this, space between cells, in the blood, in the whatever, and causes like then you could just go in with whatever to eat that stuff up and dissolve it or something. That's an interesting approach. What if you what if you could trigger the virus to let out its stuff, make it think it's going into a cell, but it's not in a cell. It's still out in the open. So it's just spreading its stuff everywhere. And its stuff can't do anything because it's not in the mechanisms. And then it just has nothing else to do, really. It's just waiting for more stuff to be made. But its life is then basically done. I mean, what else can it do, right? If it's just a messenger of this DNA and stuff, just poke it. Am I wrong? Could you not just trick it to open up, right? Like injecting false cells. Um, yeah, you would inject it with. You could inject the site that has, or not. It's probably not a site, but it's like you could inject where the COVID is, mostly, with these other cells that it could infect, right? But they're dead cells. They won't do anything. They're not exactly dead, but they're like um decrepit. They don't have the ability to regenerate and they don't have the factory stuff. They're just a cell that the virus can go into, and then once it's in there, you can then just mop that shit up. Right? Because it won't make any new cells because these cells that you're putting in are defective, fighting. Wait, did I just say fight COVID with cancer? I did not just say that. And it sounded smart. No. Because like COVID, cancer is messed up. You don't want to just. But like, what if you could do something similar to that? Not exactly cancer, but like, um, What if you infect a person with like cells that the body will definitely reject, like not from their own body? The virus takes a hold of those, but you already took out the mechanical parts of those cells. They will allow the COVID to get into them, but then the body will just reject them and toss them away, right? They open up, then they just become nothing because they don't have anything to work with. Like, you could inject someone with any kind of cell, like plant cell, animal cell, whatever. But something that you designed to not have, like you took all of the factory parts out, right? Am I stupid? Would this work? I have to upgrade the title of this video. Can you treat COVID with cancer? Um, I mean, again, not still saying not cancer, not something that will persist, something that's been essentially just deactivated, neutered, whatever, something that the body will react to, because you want the body to react to it. You want it to be something dumb, like either plant cells or either not maybe not plant cells, um, but like cells of some other thing. So they would allow the virus in. They'd spew out their stuff. The body just rejects whatever that is that you put in them. And it's like you get sick for like an extra little bit, for sure. But like the majority of the COVID would be inside of those other cells that are deactivated, and they would just eke out into nothing. They would have their stuff obliterated by the immune system. You can also inject them with other stuff to make it so that those cells also that you're putting in the surrogate whatever, like not Trojan horse, but like yeah, Trojan horse cells. I guess that could work. Um, don't use horse cells, but um, you know, something that's it's not why don't I use a regular streaming system like Streamlabs? I don't trust Streamlabs all the time, and it doesn't work as nicely as I would like it to. So whatever. I'm using this. But like the idea of yeah, it's instead of a weakened virus, so your body is more strong against it, weakened cells, so that the virus has nothing to do with those cells, so the majority of them are just soaked up like a sponge. Yeah, sponge treatment for COVID. You know, like as long as the factory parts aren't in the cells, right? Like you can maybe even give them um incentive, like a little bit of glucose or something. Um, I don't know. But because they don't have the mechanism in the cell, no factory, shouldn't that become like they'll just eke out and then they'll be useless? You'll end up with like blotches all over you. Um, maybe. And it's not the best. Um, but like the COVID might just be gone at that point. A weird treatment like this would probably only best work with someone who's already mostly healthy and like the moment they get the long COVID um, instead of like this long in when they're already very weak. Yeah, yeah. Hmm. Yeah, just fake cells, literally anything. Like it's not that it's, but I don't know. The thing about dead cells is the COVID might reject them and not even go into them, and then you're just infecting people with dead cells, which is like what is that, gangrene or something, or um necropsy. That's not exactly the best idea either. Or is it? I'm tired. Thanks for hanging out with me. I like it when you do. Check out the Science Me playlist. Check out the drinks. I make weird drinks. Apparently, I'm known for making weird drinks. I'm not known for making videos about Trackmania or Minecraft. Anything I actually do, I'm known for drinks and sandwiches, weird food. I'm known for that. I'm known for using freaking light mode. But yeah, this weird soda, it didn't go off as good. The strawberry Italian soda, you'd think it would go off a lot better. It did not. No one cared. Even though I put like music in it, no one cared. But they cared less for my regular series than they care. Like I got 50 views off that, right? And you're gonna go check out my TikTok. Like here, dude, Pal World chocolate meme. Obviously, people like that because it's not my freaking content. It's like those viewed stuff. You still have a tall glass of what has reached 2,000 views, and then you get the yogurt root beer. Yes, okay, yogurt root beer. I'm gonna defend. So shut up. The Jacksepticeye, the Markiplier thing. I've surpassed Markiplier now. Almost. 13K views was hype. Okay, I did that by making a short clip of him in what We Happy Few. when he was playing that, in his sister's butthole. Bubble. Sorry. Stab your sister's bubble. And people just mostly like the drinks. And keep it up, boy. I made that video ages ago. It did not. Jacksepticeye, I have a video that literally has 69 views. Let's go. Where the hell did I have the pickle? Where is the pickle? Like, all of it is just the freaking food. You don't get to any of my actual videos. I can't scroll down anymore. I don't have any more videos, apparently. All my top videos here. There you go. Once you get to 30 views, it's not the most viewed anymore. You get below that, and it's like, who gives a shit? Am I right? 13K 5 years ago. I popped off 5 years ago. Shit. That's about as much as like 2 of my videos otherwise. I made 2 videos on my previous channel. They got over 8,000 views each. It was good. It was not anyone else's videos. It was my own shit. Those freaking Tribes and Castles got 4,000 views or something, and whatever else. That channel's dead because YouTube killed it because they're jerks. There's all the shorts. Oh, you highest short, me, 100% me. Tall glass of what? Yogurt, berry goodness, fruit punch, all this stuff. Pal World doesn't even get as many views as like freaking my drinks. My milkshake brings everyone to my channel and they're like, what the fuck? Versus like you start watching Astroneer, you get 11 views. Lethal Company, Corrupt Save, 14 views. Simon Trace's reaction to Amazing Digital Circus, and then you got Markiplier. I surpassed Markiplier. I got more views on my short than on that. Or I got more views. I get the most thing I've ever done is freaking Markiplier and Jacksepticeye, dude. Just pulling off of other people's stuff. Dude, I made a whole freaking video. That is a movie. It is a 12-minute video. It is a movie. No one cares. Dude, that channel's epic. Markiplier's freaking like super epic. Forward assault with it, the admin kills me. The developer auto kills me. It's not a modder. It's an admin. It's a developer. It's hilarious. Whatever. Give me my channel back. I had over 6,000 videos.